mental preparedness you do in order to play in a horror movie?
Yes, you have to be so strong, I have to say, if anybody wants to become an actor in horror films. First of all, you have to practice your physical fitness. I would ride my bike 9 or 10 miles a day before Nightmare 7. We did, because you're working such long hours, and so that was my first preparation, is to always have like a lot of workouts before I would start these films. And then the second thing is you have to cultivate patience in a way that I don't think most people who have normal jobs understand the kind of patience that an actor develops in their career, because you wait for so long. You're waiting and waiting for Robert to get in and out of makeup, and you're waiting and waiting and waiting for the lighting to be just right. And then you have to be on. I mean, you have to be able to just like leap into action without any kind of warm up. And it's actually something that I've thought about. Like, I don't think I could do it now. I'd have to really practice.
Well, people forget too, the Nightmare on Elm Street movies are low budget. We did all that stuff on a shoestring budget. We weren't one of these bloated. We were an independent movie. Those are all independent movies. It was a little tiny studio named New Line. And we built that studio. It's called the house that Freddy built. That's how they refer to it now, even though it's been sold for billions of dollars to Time Warner Brothers. But I remember being on the set, and Heather and Johnny and Nick and Amanda were doing a lot of the normal scenes first, and I had to do a couple of effects scenes. Now, I've done some before because of V, but not many. And I'd done a little bit of action work and a little bit of stunt work, but not much at that time. And I remember telling the kids, they really are going to have to pace themselves. Because Heather maybe she doesn't think of herself like this back then, but she was a little feisty method actress then. Johnny was learning. Johnny was just learning. But I think Nick was hurting himself, too. Yeah. Really, Nick Corey was like, and Heather were like, and I remember like taking them aside and I said, you guys gotta pace yourselves, because you're not even into this shit yet. We're not even into the effects stuff. We're just gonna be over and over and over and over again. And then I was sitting there about 7 or 8 days into the movie, and I'd been there since 3 or 4 in the morning. And Heather and Johnny come walking in. And Heather's like 19, and Johnny's like 18, I think. And they walk in, and they've got perfect skin, and they're the two handsomest people in the entire world at this moment of time. You don't know whether to kiss them, rape them, steal them, seal them in glass, and hang them on the wall. They're both so damn beautiful and dewy and new, and they've got their whole careers ahead of them. And I'm sitting there, and I've been up since 3 in the morning, and there's this gal named Ramona basting me with KY jelly, and sticking Q-tips up my nose, and picking at me, and poking me, and prodding me. And I look over at Heather and Johnny, and now they're getting makeup. Not only are they the two most beautiful people in the world, they're getting makeup put on them. And they're sitting there in the old Lucy and Desi swivel chairs from Desi Lou, I Love Lucy. They're both sitting there in their chairs. And they give them little fans to keep them cool. So there's Heather and Johnny sitting there with their little fans to keep them cool. So they don't perspire. Yes, they gave them little tiny plastic fans. Ramona did. I remember. And I'm sitting there. I think they took my fan away from me and gave it to Johnny. Anyway, I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, oh my God, did I do the right thing taking this part? I don't know. I've got a career. I've starred in like a half a dozen movies, and I've been in 15 movies and a TV series. I'm like, Jesus,
you made a big mistake.
Did I do the right thing? I know, but I didn't know that back then.
That
but in terms of her question, the internal work, I got mad at you two. Yeah. I was jealous and envious of your youth and your beauty and you getting pampered and me wondering if it's all over, if I made the wrong mistake. And I went, I can use this. I can use this for Freddy. All I have to do is remember this exact moment. I can chase you around the set. I can throw Johnny in that bed. I can slap him around. I can come through the door and look this together, because I just think about that for a second.
Well,
You little spoiled bitch, Stanford graduate. I could use that.
Well, that's all you have to do. The same thing happened to me, though, when we were on the 7th movie, and here's Robert. I had strived to start making a little bit of money on my Nancy roles, but I hinted to the producers that I'd like to get paid more than I had been, and they're like, "You're no Robert Englund." You know, so when we got into the final fight scene, and I'm taking the eel and I'm like shoving it in his eye, those are the moments where you just are like getting back at the real world that you live in.
And that's the best pun in all the movies, what Heather just brought up. Heather and I are there working with the child, and it's like 4 in the morning, and they have this albino snake, and then they doubled it with these eels. And we have the wrangler, the Humane Society animal wrangler on the set. And we had to stop shooting and go have a meal break. And Wes Craven goes, yeah, it's time for the eel penalty. Which we call a meal penalty every time you work too many hours or you go overtime. And this was an animal. The eels actually had a better contract than Heather and I had. Anyway, that's it. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.